To talk the Hornets and the draft, we're going to bring on Locked On Hornets, Walker Mehl. Walker, I've covered the NBA draft in some weird places the last 2 years. Last year it was my living room. This year it's in Spartanburg. So I'm happy that you're in Charlotte and can hold down the fort.
It's the first time I feel like my lighting is actually better than the TV professional. I'm in radio and I feel
some more points.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. In either way, I feel like I've done a few of these TV hits now enough to where I'm trying to make sure everything surrounding me is a little bit better. But again, you're going to have to give the radio guy a little bit of some slack.
You're killing it today. All right. The Hornets have the 11th pick. First thing I'll ask you, will they take the 11th pick?
It's been interesting the last 2 days. I feel like the Charlotte Hornets have been mentioned maybe trading back with Oklahoma City, who have a couple of picks at 16 and 18. The New York Knicks have also been a team that has been mentioned possibly making a deal with the Charlotte Hornets as well. I would say as of right now, I think the Charlotte Hornets probably select number 11. We haven't seen Mitch Kupchak pull off a ton of trades, certainly not in season. Haven't seen that once with Mitch Kupchak. We've seen him trade some of the draft picks. We saw him do it moving down one spot to get Miles Bridges. That actually landed them some second-round picks as well. So it's possible, right? I think that's very in play. Ultimately, I think the Charlotte Hornets probably stay home at 11 and make their selection. But certainly over the last 2 days, trading back is more possible than maybe even previously thought.
Yeah, and while they've gotten more talented over the last few years, they could always add a lottery pick, one that they hit on, even if it's not somebody that's in the starting rotation. And that brings me to my next question. I don't think the Hornets need to find the next Donovan Mitchell with this pick, although that would be nice in this range here. But it just seems like they need to find somebody that kind of fits into the core of what they're trying to construct with this roster. What other specific elements would you want at pick 11?
If you're asking for the biggest needs for the Charlotte Hornets, I kind of want somebody that provides not only offense, but defense. Everybody wants 3-and-D guys on their NBA roster. So that's the cliche need for every team. You can't have enough of them.
Just D would be good right now. Just defense would be great.
Emphasis on defense. Somebody, I don't want to sacrifice either end of the floor, but I want somebody that can play defense, particularly on the perimeter. I would like to have a shutdown guy on that end of the floor. I think you certainly need some center depth. I've always thought that position of need has been a little overstated. You had a positive net rating with Cody Zeller out there. I like PJ Washington playing the small ball 5, but you certainly need to address the big man depth. And then I think it doesn't help to address athleticism outside of Miles Bridges, who's nuclear, Malik Monk as well, but Malik Monk might be gone. Other than that, you don't have a ton of athleticism jumping out on the court when you watch the Charlotte Hornets play. Keon Johnson would fit that bill. A couple of these guys in the first round might help your athleticism there. So those are some of the things I would like to check off when considering who fits with the Charlotte Hornets at 11, or maybe in a selection where you trade back. Have you seen enough drafting from Mitch Kupchak to the point where you trust him, especially in this range where it seems like, except for last year, he's kind of contending with every year? It's weird because I think I really do like what Mitch Kupchak has done. And it's very different from what us Charlotte pro basketball fans have experienced really the decade before, whether it be the Bobcats or the Hornets. You really only hit truly on Kemba Walker. Miles Bridges took a huge step up this season and was an instant contributor his rookie season. PJ Washington comes out against the Bulls, his debut, scores 27 points. And I really like the trajectory PJ Washington is on, even after a little bit of an inconsistent second season. LaMelo Ball wins Rookie of the Year, so have some trust there. But it's the second round picks that he's even shown a certain kind of savvy with the LA Lakers addressing in the second round also. Devontae Graham, I'm a huge fan of Jalen McDaniels being some kind of role player going forward. Yes, I trust Mitch Kupchak, and I have not trusted him really even the day after he made the Miles and PJ pick, but I'm soon a fan afterwards. Yeah, Mitch Kupchak's done a good job when it comes to the draft. All right, let's talk about some names. Of course, we all love that. And I'll just throw the first one at you. You probably know what's coming. Kai Jones he worked out with the Hornets. They seem to have enough interest in him that you can trace through their conversations and their workouts. He's an intriguing player. Seems like somebody that could go either way. Big man out of Texas. What do you think? What do you think of him, and what do you think the team is kind of thinking with this guy? Well, Mitch Kupchak told us that they're not going to reach for a center in the NBA draft just because it's somewhat of a position of need. That's absolutely the right mentality to come in here with. You want to add more talent, whether it be a wing or a guard. So I don't want them to stretch for Kai Jones just because they need a big body. He's really tantalizing, and I get it. But people often talk about swinging for the fences, right? Hitting a home run, hitting on that upside, despite somebody like Kai Jones being extremely raw. But I've kind of equated him to a dead center swinging for the 420 part of the fence rather than swinging for the 380 part of the fence, right? Like there are guys that are a little safer that also are considered high upside and high ceiling picks compared to Kai Jones that is just so raw right now. Defensively doesn't know where to be, but he does do some crazy mobile athletic things that other guys his size can't. I ultimately would probably pick other players wherever you would group him in. There's a decent amount of players that are considered to go where he is supposed to, and I'd probably go that other direction. Kai Jones is really tantalizing, but for me, I'd probably be out on him.
All right, I'm going to ask you for your dream, but based in a little bit of reality. Who would you love to see the Hornets grab at number 11 on Thursday night?
Well, if anybody's been listening on the Locked On Hornets podcast, I have made my case for Zaire Williams. Even if his numbers have not been good, it's because, to me, of all of the things that he had to go through at Stanford, where that program was affected as much as any by COVID-19. Remember, they were actually kind of stuck over here on this side of the country at the beginning of the college basketball season because of the Santa Clara County protocols that said, hey, if you travel outside of 150 miles, you got to be out of commission for a while. You got to make sure that you isolate yourself. Zaire Williams also, I think, suffered from bad shot selection. I don't think he was used 100% correctly. And he only played 20 games in his lone season at Stanford. Often the problems with him are, guys wanting to put more weight on him. And I think the NBA does an excellent job at that. Zaire Williams is my favorite. I think he's such a creative. I think he's the most valuable archetype player in the NBA. 6'9", 6'10" in shoes that can create for himself and others. You just don't find those guys. And I would like to have Zaire, Keon Johnson, Usman Garuba, Jalen Johnson. Those are some of the other guys. Moses Moody, if he falls, those are some of the other guys that I would like as well.
All right, Walker Mehl from Locked On Hornets. Locked On has a lot planned for Thursday night. Give me a taste of what you guys got going on.
Yes, around 7 o'clock, we're going to be bringing you a live NBA draft show coverage there. Chad Ford, like the NBA draft GOAT. Okay, been doing it forever. He's going to be there. Rafael Barlow, also a John Corral is going to be some host on the Locked On Podcast Network. Go to YouTube as well. You can search for the live draft show. We got a studio and everything now. I mean, we're big time. So it's going to be.
Takeover is real. And now I'm in some nondescript room.
I would say it's probably a little better than the Marriott. I would say maybe a little bit better, but that's just me. We got a studio now. It's great. I'll be hopping on there. We've got 30 different hosts that'll be joining this thing at some point, or at least every host that has a team in the first round of the draft and so on and so forth. So we're going to be doing a lot of interesting stuff. Check us out. I'm on Twitter at Walker Mehl. I'll be giving you the Charlotte Hornets analysis, but also Locked On NBA. Follow them. They'll give you a link. We'll make sure you're taken care of and you can catch some NBA draft coverage.
All right, Locked On Hornets and WCNC Charlotte got you covered for training camp, Hornets draft. Thank you, Walker.
Absolutely, man. Thanks again.